Good afternoon. This is the Bridge 99 FM, the station that links Jamaican lovers all over the world. A unique opportunity. The program is the public eye. I'm Ronnie Thwaites. The Honorable Pearnel Charles OJ is the co-host. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Ronnie. How you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Well, I mean, if you're doing as good as you look, then you're okay.
There was the lady who used to tell me that flattery will get you everywhere. Thanks so much for being with us, Mr. Charles. Put on your headphones and let's get on to the issues of the day. I'm amazed at the small things that disturb our attention in Jamaica. There was a lot of discussion over the weekend about the funeral of a policeman who was slain in the line of duty, and his problem was he wasn't accorded a gun salute. My goodness. Did you hear that? No gun salute at a policeman's funeral.
Yes, I mean that.
Why should we have a gun salute at all?
Well,
what kind of aping of the British is this?
Well, I don't know whether it's British or not. If you start, there are many things that the Arawaks did, that the British continue, that the British did, that we are continuing. That the French. I mean, I am not putting it on anybody, but it's a mark of respect that has been accepted worldwide. That there is a salute. Uh-huh. And what else could they do? Fire rocket?
I wouldn't do anything like that.
No, but it has been done and is being done.
Uh-huh. And so if
and
it
has been accepted.
And if it isn't done, then it's a mark of disrespect.
Well,
come on, let's stop majoring in the minors.
No, it's a mark that you have to explain why. Look, those bullets may be blank bullets too.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. If gestures have meaning, then I applaud them. But I don't understand this gesture. And it strikes me that it betrays a mentality that is easily bruised, albeit with the tragedy of a policeman killed on duty or anybody killed, particularly in the line of duty. And that it's just, there's so many other things. There's so many, I think of the relatives of slain policemen who complain that for months and years after the death, they don't get any compensation. They can't draw life insurance. But then we're having a big to-do, and the minister and the commissioner have to get involved with the army as to why there was no gun salute. Good God, man.
Yeah, but
life is short,
Yeah, but it probably is the easiest thing to do from their point. Mm-hmm. I mean, whether you're swearing in an official or you're welcoming an official, worldwide, it's accepted that they fire some sounds, but whether they're blank shots or what. Mm-hmm. I would feel that if we're doing it for everybody, it was expected, then somebody should explain why they didn't do it for this young guy.
And so, okay, and so when it's done at Dovecourt for a dawn, or when it's done at a party, brap. One is aping the other, isn't it? We want a culture based on simple, wholesome things, man.
In other words, let us say there are certain culture that we have inherited that which we need to change. As a result of new things, new life, I will accept that. Yeah, and because it portrays something that we want to get rid of.
I would have
the guns and the shootings and this. And that the police was shot. Mm. To go and give a gun salute with guns, it's a sort of situation.
I'm glad you say it.
No, but the truth is, there is a controversy there, and whether or not we need to get rid of some of the old time or the age situation, which with a new life, a new force.
Fancy a minister and a commissioner having to get involved with that. Good Lord.
Well, but then you have to say, if you do it for everybody,
yes,
arriving and leaving,
yes,
right, and dead or born. Why did you? Was it disrespect to this young guy who got killed in a bad way?
Bad way.
That it's expected. And then if you had explained that as a result of how he died. By bullets, illegal, that they're not going to do it. People would have accepted it.
Indeed, you have a remarkably fine analysis of it. I'm impatient, as I am also of a matter we discussed earlier. There's a video on social media going around, and it's gone further than that, too, with a little boy at the Homestead Primary School in St. Catherine. Ignoring the remonstrations of his teacher or of a teacher and the cowering of his classmates, and picking up not one, not two, but apparently more than 2, 3, 4 stones and just lobbing them at people in the classroom.
Was it lobbing them at the school or at people? I'm not sure whether it was at people.
Believe me.
But whatever, it was going in on the school.
Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, if you fling it in the classroom, you mean to lick somebody.
Well, yes.
And there's a teacher who apparently was bruised, etc. And this little boy is allowed, or not, is not allowed. He goes ahead and does it without any remonstration, without any restraint. And the question I ask you...
No, when you say without any restraint, what do you mean? Intervention at the time or after?
At the time.
Oh, well, nobody came out except the teacher.
Yes.
To try to stop him.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
the rest of people were running away.
But it's deeper than that, sir. Yeah. A little boy like that needed to be collared. He needed to be given 2 good lick and then taken to the doctor.
Hold on.
Because he's obviously sick.
Hold on, Pastor. I know to call you Pastor. The reason for that is that I got involved with this situation because 2 of my children were there.
Okay.
And one is a psychologist.
Yes, we know her.
And, my wife is also a nurse practitioner.
Yes.
And I said, that could not happen in my house.
Yeah.
No boy could leave my house and go and do that in school. You know what she said to me? Daddy, there is something that you need to think about. Are all homes like yours?
No.
Or all children have the privilege of that sort of leadership at home?
No.
And
why?
Here come the psychiatrist now. Well, let me say this to you. All of you talking about beating the child, doing this to the child, and I am talking about send the child to the children's hospital. That child need to be psychological, what the proper word? Analyzed.
Yes.
Because there are many of them in the school. And then she turned to me and said, you remember the man who killed 5 people in Clarendon? I said, what happened? The reason those people took him in is that he loved them so much. He was so nice to them and terrible to others. And that is a sign of illness. If she was there and saw that, she would have done a protection, a medical protection. Now, this young man...
That's extraordinary.
What is bad is that did his parents take him back there to apologize?
Yeah.
Or to look for who caused him to be vexed?
Yeah.
And so finally, she said, there are many in the schools, and not only the schools, who need
walking around in Parliament too, plenty of them.
Many of us need to be psychologically analyzed. That's a proper word?
I believe so.
Right? Analyzed and mentally guided and protected. Now, you know me, typical old countryman, feel that the strap on his bottom would be a better analysis.
Not by itself, but where I disagree with Prime Minister Holness, who has a view that corporal punishment should be banished entirely in the schools. There are circumstances where a child needs a short, sharp shock who is doing something dangerous, and they need to be brought to their senses, and some physical restraint is necessary to do that. And then, if that's all you do, I agree with your daughters, that's not enough. He does need psychological assistance, but on the spot, to stop what was pictured yesterday throughout Jamaica and probably throughout the world, of a child holding a class and a teacher at ransom, Yes,
And flinging those type of stones.
absolutely, sir. And going
That,
on
that,
and
that could
and,
kill everyone that hits
clearly,
on the head.
clearly,
Could kill.
and having time in order to go pick up more and do it again. Clearly, all of that before us. That is a sign. That is a sign that we need to say. It's one instance, but I think your daughters are correct. There are many of us who have that problem, and sometimes we need that short, sharp shock. Now, let's broaden it into the situation of wider antisocial behavior. I accept that restraint, I accept that containment, meaning imprisonment, is necessary in many instances.
Yeah.
But if that is all you do, then you are a condign fool. And that, unfortunately, over the history, what we have done is to concentrate, and we're doing it right now, concentrate totally on the repression. Yes, and saying nothing, investing very little, using no imagination to do the equivalent of societal psychological analysis to see what is wrong.
Well, somebody just called me to say that it look like you're on both sides. you're on my side, the good side, and you're not getting off the back side.
Yeah, that no.
No, but Ronnie, the reason I wouldn't do that in school, I couldn't go home.
No.
The reason I wouldn't do that is that would be unacceptable at home. Whether I am sick or not sick, I know that I would have to find a new home.
Yeah.
Now, Ronnie, there are some mothers without fathers who are not offering the protection, the guidance.
Yes.
A mother's love is a different thing than a father, you know.
Yes.
Or somebody who know the boy forget some big lick, you know. Right? So she hug him up rather than answer, please. And we say, what? Hug up? Turn on, you're behind. Right? So there are too many homes without that protection for our children.
So let us inquire about how we're going to get to that stage, that we don't have that background that causes such an aberration. Not only at Homestead Primary School, but in the murder tallies, in the gender,
all over,
in the gender violence, in all of this. So that takes us to some deep questions. All I want us to do is to follow your daughters and ask those questions. The malady, which is the adjustment at Children's Hospital or wherever, is fine. First of all, regretfully, in Jamaica, in the school system, people with the skills and with the approach of your daughters, yes, are few and far between. We don't have them. We need to multiply them.
Do we have any of those in the schools?
Very few.
Are there schools where in other words, when I was at school, the dentist used to come like once a month and run through and it don't feel teeth in them, just pull out any rotten one. You understand? But it helps. And the public health used to come and give a little lecture.
No, sir, we don't have that.
No. So how do we get to helping those children who don't have the backup?
Yeah. First of all, we have to enable social workers in the schools with some modicum of the training of the professionalism that your family has. One, and two, we have to make some really strong decisions in the society instead of jumping around and being noted as a boogie nation. We have to start to tell people, look, no man, hard as it is to maintain a union and so on. Once you and a man or you and a woman bring a child into this world, you have to be committed to raise that child together.
You have a responsibility.
You have a responsibility.
To the child's future and those who child associate with.
And the nation, the people in the classroom who the stone nearly lick.
Hold on, Ronnie.
So don't tell me about rights without responsibilities.
Yes, but then let us understand. A young teacher, 21-year-old woman who was standing there. Beautiful.
Lovely.
Right?
Sorry for her.
Would you expect her to stand before those stones or grab up that boy?
It would be very difficult.
And not only that, we don't know if that boy wouldn't run home and mama follow him come.
Hold on now. That is the other problem. I'm glad you raised that. Because one of the things that I sensed only good sense from looking at it,
Yeah.
yes, is that she said, boy, if I touch this fellow,
The mother going come grab me up.
I'm looking at lawsuit. I'm looking at the situation that happened at Ocheria's Primary, was it?
That's
Forgive
right.
me if I've got the name wrong. Where because I contend with a obviously serious situation. This was a phone issue. I get charged as well.
Yes.
Who going to defend me? What happens to my criminal record? Let the boy go on. Let me try a different way. We've got a society where our values are mixed up. A person who comes with violence must be contained. And at the same time, the source of that violence, particularly if it is a systemic source, rather than only an individual source with some kind of counseling or some kind of medicine, can help with.
You have to do something about it.
Yes, sir.
But let me ask you a
Yes,
question.
sir.
Let me ask you a question. School in Pearnel Charles Day starts at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
If you come 5 minutes after 9,
Yeah.
the door is closed.
Yeah.
What do you think we do?
Yeah.
You line up outside.
Yeah.
And if you're late, you join the line.
Yeah.
And guess what? After teachers register who is there, and so teacher come outside and each person come put them hand out,
Yeah.
get 2 lick and run in school.
Yeah.
Everybody don't come to school late. Get up early, come early.
Mm-hmm.
They don't broke no hand, they don't whale you up, but that has gone.
Yeah. Well,
You can't do that.
no,
It's a new life.
I'm glad that's gone. But
Yeah, but hold on.
but I think there are other ways of
Hold on.
ensuring.
You're glad that's
punctuality.
gone. You're glad that's gone. But many of us who went through that are here.
Yes, sir. And I admire your discipline. But at the same time, no, I don't understand what directions I'm being given. I can't hear. But it's very important that we not be brutal. But at the same time, we are in a position where we do things that are progressive, and that are ordered.
I like the word you use. And if you go back to what you said, the Prime Minister said that you must not do.
Yeah.
I think that he's not the only one. Many, even me now, believe that what used to happen there should not happen now.
No.
Okay?
But
Now, if you have an environment that child can be properly trained and protected, why beat up the child?
Indeed. So.
But if you don't have it, and the child even flinging stone after mother and father and teacher,
Yeah.
how are you going to do it?
So we're talking about a new order in the society. You can't do
I
that.
like the word.
You can't do that within a fractured environment where we're at each other's throats. And again, I'm disappointed that Prime Minister Holness blames every disorder in the society on the PNP.
No, man, I'm sure that the Prime Minister has done
Tell me which one he doesn't.
Tell me which one he did.
Oh goodness, he wonders whether they have any commitment against crime. He wonder. He's talking about people like me. He must know something I don't know.
Ronnie, let me tell you something. When one of your colleagues
This morning.
refer to us as
No, but you can't defend the instance by pointing to another one, because I condemn that too.
Let me tell you why I was going there. I was going to say that we should try and lift all of the parties from that.
But yeah, no, and who is the first lifter? The man who is a chief servant, and he doesn't do this. But it's such a disappointment. And when he doesn't do it, it reflects on him, and it reflects upon our credibility in the Prime Minister of this country, who we must have undoubted faith in.
Well, let me ask you a question. If we could get our children to understand, why beat them?
Well, absolutely.
If we could get leadership, for example, if my daughters and sons do anything beyond mama spanking, she said, wait till your papa come.
Yes, sir.
And everybody nervous till I come.
Till I come.
Follow me? And I do a trial. You understand?
Well, what I'm saying.
What do you have to say?
Yeah.
And sometime I'll say, okay, write that down. That's one. When you read 5, it's a different story. So I got that from my father, who was a country judge man.
Yes,
you understand?
sir.
He might let you go to,
Yes.
when him hear your side, him say, well,
I quit you. But let me tell you now. Yes, you see, before we take the break, all this thing about the state of emergency, yes, and the PSOJ and all these organizations saying you must support it, what they should say is, come Mr. Holness, come Mr. Golding, come and sit down in this room, with us or without us, yes? And under God and with our authority, you must come up with a plan that both of you can accept.
Let me ask you in 10 seconds, where I blame my Prime Minister.
Yeah. Really?
Yes, for giving the people the impression, the way he puts it, as if he's the one who caused state of emergency. The Prime Minister is not the one who caused state of emergency. Hold on.
No, I know. It comes from
hold on.
It has to be recommended by the heads.
Hold on. The Chief of Staff, Brigadier, whatever,
Yeah, but
and the Commissioner of
but
Police.
hold
on. I really wanted to say this.
Yeah.
They are the one who have people out in the various areas of Jamaica. They are the one who said, Commissioner, based on our investigation, based on the secret info that we get from the people out there, hell is going to pop at this place.
Yeah.
Right? And it is the commissioner who comes to this meeting, the security meeting, and said, Prime Minister, we need you to take to your colleagues in Parliament what the security announcements are based on our examination of what is out there.
Sure.
So it is not the...
No. Hold on, no, sir. That is what you say is completely correct. My gloss on it is, if you want public support, you share that with the alternate government.
But let me ask you.
You do not allow.
Am I wrong in saying that all that is available to the opposition?
No, you are wrong.
Are you suggesting that when the commissioner goes to this...
There is no sharing. There is no sharing. There wasn't any sharing in your case in 1976.
No, but my case was different. Not even the police know.
Well, but it's the same thing. What we use is authority in a way that is singular, and we use it to our advantage, or we think that if we share it, we are somehow diluting our leadership, and that is a wrong spiritual and political concept.
If what you say is so, then I will have to accept that when the commissioner brings to this meeting an evaluation of various people around the island who call and said, Commissioner,
this and this requires that.
This and this, because something going to happen. And when he gets into that meeting and says, gentlemen,
where's the defense board? Who is on? Who?
But isn't that the board?
No, but the defense board is too narrowly constituted.
In other words,
I'm looking for cooperation and collaboration rather than unilateral action.
I'd be wrong.
People don't trust.
I'd be wrong if you say to me that the Prime Minister representing the government and as such representing the JLP, and nobody is in that meeting representing the PNP.
Yeah, because why? You don't trust them because they don't have power.
No. Forget they don't. Let us say first. It is necessary for the commissioner to speak according to what the Constitution says. The Constitution say go and tell them, and they pass it and give you the job to go out. So it can't be give one side and the other one don't get.
But that's exactly what happens.
No, but I'm going to come back to you next week.
Okay.
Because I believe that the Prime Minister would not have had all of that information from the commissioner, from the major, and then carry it to give everybody without sharing it with the opposition. If that is so, then I would ask him, please, do not allow that to happen.
All right, sir. Thanks. We take a break on the public eye. This is the Bridge 99 FM. This is the public eye on the Bridge 99 FM. Steve McDonald, greetings.
Greetings to yourself and to the chief. How are you guys doing today?
I am alive and kicking.
We're glad that we're warmer than you. Steve McDonald from Yaad Market in Toronto. Steve McDonald, we needed to speak with you on the public eye today because of this report circulated widely in Jamaica and no doubt elsewhere that there is some effort to brand bananas in North American markets as Jamaican when in fact they are not. What do you know about this?
Well, just what I've read. However, this is something that I've been talking to you for almost 5 going 7 years in terms of products from other countries being branded Jamaican when they have nothing to do with Jamaica. So I'm happy to see that something is finally happened or will happen, or it's now being brought to public attention, and hopefully to the attention of Ministry of Agriculture and also JAMPRO.
Tell me now, why would anyone do that? Do Jamaican bananas have a special cachet?
Oh, yes. Jamaican bananas and anything Jamaican carry extra price. So you'll find that Jamaican bananas may sell for, let's say, $2 a pound or $3 a pound, while the banana from other countries may be 99 cents a pound. So what they will actually do is sometime they will have the bananas from other countries being labeled as a Jamaican banana. I actually saw that happening in one store one day, and because I knew the difference between the bananas, I was saying to the guy, that's not a Jamaican banana. Why are you putting on the Jamaican price? Why are you calling it a Jamaican banana? And most of these, in my era at least, most of these guys are Korean and don't really speak English or claim to not speak English. And so I actually called a supervisor and brought it to his attention, and he was saying, oh, it was being mislabeled, and the person who was packing it out wasn't aware. But
Steve, well, let me ask you, Steve, is it because there's a large Jamaican population in particular areas that go for Jamaican foods, or it's an attention to fool Jamaicans or generally?
So it's demand and supply. So it's a large Jamaican population, one. And I think there is also a crossover too. There's starting to be a crossover because of the taste of the Jamaican food. So there is a large Jamaican population, and there is a shortage for the most time of Jamaican products.
The same thing goes
for. While you have, let's say, banana, you may have one bucket of Jamaican bananas. You may have a supply of 3 buckets of banana from a different country. And banana is just the product right now. It's the same thing for pumpkins. It's the same thing for yams. So same thing for sweet potato.
Dry coconut.
You will see Jamaican sweet potato from Costa Rica. You will see Jamaican pumpkin from Costa Rica. And that is actually, they will actually write that on there. That is a Jamaican product, and it will say whichever country. But the one for Jamaica producers, the banana, was a bit different in that they were mislabeling the banana as from Jamaica banana producers.
So let me ask you something, Steve. The average American decide whether it's Jamaican banana or Costa Rica banana or just one banana.
Canadian.
I can't speak for the Americans. Yeah, so the average Jamaican Canadian, not the average Canadian, but the average Jamaican Canadian would go for Jamaican.
I accept that.
Jamaican banana.
But the average,
due to the taste. So go ahead.
So they are catering to fool Jamaicans, then.
They're using us. Why we allow people to use us? And the big problem.
How do you stop a man from
produce more and send you banana? The shame is that there's not enough banana on the Jamaican banana on the Canadian market. There's not enough Jamaican coffee, so people style away. That is the truth. And then you look
at the end of the day, that is it.
And you look on the TV last night. Yes, and after the minister, when he was Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Audley Shaw, who I respect, says that he has any number of applicants for the sugar lands which are coming out of Cane, Money Musk, Innswood, Bernard Lodge, yes, all through Holland, yes, you find there's pure bush in there now. animal are run through.
Yes.
I'm standing in support of us really taking agriculture seriously. You have all heap of publicity and whole heap of money going into tourism. Good. Yes, and then you have the minister, poor minister, what is he doing? Oh, we wish we had more food that we could give to the tourists. Steve has been making this point for years, and I don't see the action, sir. You know,
there isn't, and to even to take that one step further, and this is the question I've been asking: what is the demand from outside of Jamaica? We know how much we're supplying, but if you ask them, okay, so what is the demand? There's no clue. So we don't know if 10,000 pound is actually required. We do know that we're selling 5,000 pound, but we don't know if the demand is 10,000 pounds, so we can start ramp up production, right? So we don't have an idea of the market that we're operating in, which to me doesn't make any sense. And then, as you know, so because of that, we can't plan adequately. When we, if I take the cassava, and I probably have shared this with you guys already, when Red Stripe came in to started to take cassava, there was a shortage of bami in here. Why? Because the producers were they were selling to Red Stripe into saying, okay, well, we have this demand, which is in North America. So we know that we are currently producing 10,000 pounds. Red Stripe is going to need 5,000 pounds. So we now need to be producing 15,000 pounds. But instead, we just take from the 5,000 pounds. So there's a shortage here. So when we were doing the mangoes, we could only supply one market. So when they came out and said, okay, we're sending some mangoes to New York, there was a shortage in Canada because we don't know what the market is.
So wait a minute, we're not bright. We're too bright for all of that, sir. We have to stop that nonsense now. What I want to see is us having so much production of banana, mango, cassava, yes, that we have to go look markets for it. The tourism market, we are spending foreign exchange, which we should be using to spend on school book and buy medicine and buying food because we're not producing enough.
Ronnie, why are we fooling?
Christmas prices of food, cabbage gone up to what? Tomato gone up to what now?
Why are we fooling ourselves? Small farmers cannot produce big quantities.
So come we have the big farmer then?
Hold on. We need big farmers.
Yes, sir.
We have land. Hold on. But they are prepared to import.
Yeah.
Full their storehouse.
Yes, sir.
We want some of these people. Like, what's the gentleman who gone out here? What is his name?
Hassan.
Hassan?
Yes.
We want 10, 15, all the lands that came out of sugar are in grass now.
Yes, quite, sir.
And what?
So when Minister Clark gets up yesterday at some meeting in Montego Bay and say you want to have US $1 billion investment, we're glad for that. Yeah. But I want to, in what? Because first of all, you can't have $1 billion US investment unless you have a skilled workforce, and we don't have that. One. And two, what we have, we don't have gold under the ground, we don't think. But what we have is land that can cultivate can bring food. At that investor we want.
But that is
and we have enough money in Jamaica to do that.
Let us say that is where he's going.
No,
going to bring people here who's going to, you just say it, bring back all the lands that came out of cane that are now in grass.
Yes, sir.
They're either going to go back in cane or go in mangoes, or so that Canada can get all the mango, all the melon, and all the pumpkin, right? We don't have enough large farmers to take up large plot of land and get it running. Look at this. You plant. When to plant, you must know. When to fertilize, when to reap, when to put together and export. These are not small farmer business.
No, but I'm accepting all that, but why still?
So, Chief, just on that basis with a small farmer, there is one product every year at this time we're short of. Two products. White rum and also red label wine. Those are big companies.
Well, why don't they?
So that's a chance.
In a serious,
why don't the big companies get into what is needed that can help small farmers here? So Siaga started it in Klein and Ronnie.
And he's to be commended.
But it stopped.
But he dropped his hand. or they drop their hand.
But and that's where I'm coming from in terms of what the demand is. Nobody's looking at, okay, what is the demand? We have a shortage of sweet potato every year. Right now, yellow yam is going through the roof. So it's almost $6 a pound Canadian for yellow yam here. So what is happening is that the restaurants who are using it as part of their for food, they're actually substituting that and using yam from Africa instead, which is at a lower price. So at the same time, while we there fiddling trying to figure out what we've been doing this for 10 years, so I don't know if we're trying to figure out. But while we there fiddle around, we have, again, coming back to the fundamental problem, we have countries which are realizing that there is a shortage in these products and are producing. And that is the reason why we're having companies that are substituting, that are labeling stuff as Jamaican products from wherever. And then you have, if we had the products there, we wouldn't be able to supply. 3 or 4 years ago, we knew that we had set up a banana factory in Jamaica, and we couldn't supply the banana factory for local production.
But Steve, why are we going like we don't understand? We have hundreds of thousands of small farmers who need to be guided when to plant, need to get when to fertilize, need to be guided when to reap. And when they are doing the reaping without guidance, it rotten off on them. Yeah, so we need leadership. Yeah. We need people who have the large, big storehouses importing.
You're in a better position to provide us the answers with that.
I mean, that is government's role, and I know the minister is trying. I'm so sorry we haven't heard about the reorganization of RADA, though I know that's been a priority. But right now, the level of although output in agriculture is increasing every quarter, it is increasing on a very low base, and it is not meeting the
not meeting local, much less
it may be increasing on 25% when it could be increasing on 100%.
Which is what we need. And that is where we can get the money.
So, Steve, let me ask you a question.
That's where country people don't need to leave and go abroad to earn the money because they can earn it here.
Why don't you tell us from some people in Canada who will look at Jamaica and come and do some investment?
Shame. You have Jamaican companies making so much profit.
Of what?
And grow money, grow and trade money.
Exactly, and importing things.
Absolutely, sir.
Right, so rather than help us produce
here.
So
what prevents us as a nation? Love people to make money, love people to get rich, but want it to be more evenly across the society, and so all of us get a part. People, 60% of your workforce not struggling on minimum wage, while the rest making billions and billions. Okay, but surely that is where the leadership comes from. Surely we can say, listen, these are national priorities in this year of grace. 2023 soon come. Please let us invest in this. Yes, which of the profits of our financial sector are going into this $5 billion bond that Mayberry is floating, and they're going to get oversubscribed? Bet you, any of that going into produce food for export or for local nutrition? Then we want state of emergency. You're going to live with state of emergency.
Who do we blame, Ronnie?
I'm putting
who are the investors?
All around. All around.
Sometimes,
but leadership has to point to it. Huh? Leadership has to point that out.
So speaking of leadership, some time ago I had proposed an idea that because there's a lot of greater cake drops and so forth that was being sold up here, and even tambourine balls. So I suggested that we could have, because we have RADA offices in each parish, and they have infirmaries, or they have a infrastructure that they could have it produced. So I suggested that we could do something through them, have the ladies in the different communities, and it could even be somewhat of a cottage industry. So you have different ladies or whoever could make the drops and then package it and sell it. It didn't go anywhere. I mentioned it to Ministry of Agriculture people when I spoke to them, RADA people, everybody liked the idea. I think even JAMPRO, if I remember correctly. Anyway, somebody up here did it. Some they put a nice package. They're doing different flavor drops, grated cake,
So they
cinnamon flavor. That will put it packages, and
they
they're
make the
selling
money.
it on the market here.
They make the money, and when they need to, they say it's Jamaican style or Jamaican type, and when we huff and
It's
puff,
there, Jamaican drop.
yeah, they long out their tongue at us because them have sense, and we love dance and sing and quarrel with one another. Foolishness.
No, but Randy, the farmers, the thousands of farmers we have in Jamaica,
Daddy,
don't have enough
Daddy,
land
I
to
agree.
produce for themselves.
But so set up mother farms
Huh?
and set up mother farms. What do you call it? Planting garden, river, agro parks.
agro park.
Call it anything you like, but bring them in. Where is the
son,
produce?
I'm laughing at you
Yes, sir.
because I heard this big thing from government
Yes, sir.
that workers who used to be in the factory sugar cane are going to get certain amount of land to go into agriculture. For the first 2 years, everybody plant one time,
Yeah.
everybody dig one time,
Yeah.
nobody could sell all one time.
Because we
There was no planning.
Yeah.
There's nobody say,
That is
plant
yeah.
now,
Yeah.
spray now,
Yes, sir.
and say dig now
But-
because we have importer waiting now.
Yes.
We don't have the conclusion.
Yes.
We don't have the conclusive part of it. So what? You got to know pure grass.
Well-
Everybody stop.
And that's where the leadership come in, though. That is where the leadership come in.
Yeah, but what we have leadership is in betting shop, a ramping shop. And that we
Yeah,
have.
so-
Come now, man. This is Christmas now, and New Year coming.
Randy, Randy, why you looking at me?
Not looking at you.
You
because
know, you look at me because guess what?
What?
I went down to Coronation Market to buy my cabbage. You know how much I found?
How much, sir?
$250.
Yes, sir.
Cabbage.
Cabbage.
I said to the man, listen, man, go and plant
Uh-huh.
until it come back down to 60, 50. Me nah yam no cabbage.
Look at that, sir. You know
Jamaica, you know?
Yes, sir. You know one of the reasons, Steve, one of the reasons you hear the irritation in my voice?
Yeah.
Because the Honorable Pearnel P. Charles told me a story about the banana industry in St. Thomas
Yes.
and the 3,000
Right.
workers
Yes.
and how commercially it became unviable and Jamaica producers stop it.
Yes.
And the question
Right.
is, what happened to that land? What happened to those workers?
Well,
Yes?
Yes.
Can there be uplift out of that? Why is it that we could not have immediately and seen it as a national priority, a unifying force to say, listen, if that has to happen, who else can take it over or what else can be done? Instead of which
Yeah.
we are bringing Bentley and Maserati and Fugarati car and
Yeah.
spend foreign exchange
Yeah.
on that.
Right.
We are architects of our own misfortune.
But go look for
Well,
it.
even
We shut
coconut
down all
water
the cane
too.
farm,
There's a lot of
all the sugar factory shut down.
Yes, sir.
And the land grow grass.
Yes, sir. And that is
so
progress.
just to let you know too, we get canes here,
Yes.
and we're bringing in Canada, in Toronto, and there are canes coming from as far as China, right? And I
This
can
is
tell you that once the cane
Eating
come
cane.
in,
Eating cane.
eating cane,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Once the cane come in,
Uh-huh.
they don't have hands to sell the cane, right? So again,
Ribbon cane.
we have the other product. Yeah, we have the other product in terms of bottled coconut water.
Yes, sir.
We that is sold up here frozen. It's $4 for an 8 fluid ounce bottle, and again, they don't have hands to send it. And that's not coming from Jamaica. We actually started the market. The first product was from Jamaica, but we could not supply. We could not meet the demand, and so they went to. Then Costa Rica came in, and we've lost that market. So there are about 4 other companies now from Costa Rica which are selling in that market, and there's none from Jamaica. We're just not there.
Well, I'm hearing you and Ronnie, and I want to challenge the two of you.
Uh-huh.
Tell me which section of Jamaica we are going to say this is good money right before us. Let's go. Which
Look,
one?
not even ganja we can do it with.
Why?
No, because we're not doing it. Because we create a problem for every solution. Yes, we must stop do that. We must set ourselves to what
I
Douglas
love
O'Reilly.
that. That one sounds intellectual.
Douglas O'Reilly always says, what you don't measure, you don't achieve. I want
But speaking.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, speaking for a problem, for a solution, just on a slight different note, my mom had asked me to bring this up to you guys to see if you can help. So she have to do life certificate.
Yeah.
And she has to get one signed for Attorney General for her pension, and she has to get another one signed for Ministry of Labor.
Yes, sir.
So she has to get two different life certificates signed for government, and she's asking why couldn't there be just be one life certificate that she has to get signed, and it is sent to one central area,
Yes.
and both areas.
Yes.
So I just want to show that in the mix
okay.
real quick.
And let me answer, Mommy, because I think that the NIDS, the national identification, is really going to help with that. We're not there yet, but I support it. Not the way it was done first, and with all the fooling up of each other that we tried to do, but that I believe that once we have a central system there, some of that duplication will no longer be necessary. But what I see, you see, Steve, I see school children, yes, undernourished. I see the farming community being decimated. When you go to the district where Mr. Charles came from, yes, you find all the young people gone, them looking to come to Canada instead of plant for Canada. Yes?
Yeah, but
You have an organization called
the school children.
Yes.
Speaking of the school children,
Yes.
and we used to have the Nutribun. Right now, Haiti has a product that they're using breadfruit.
Yes.
As to make a similar Nutribun. We could do something similar to that, and that goes directly into the school as part of their feeding program. It could go into the prisons. It could go into hospitals. And breadfruit flour is a better flour than traditional flour.
Well, we had Mike and
we have that. It's probably not as organized.
But in the meanwhile,
we have the cake place down there still running.
We do, but it's very, very small.
You have a way that you can get free.
Why is it small?
I can't tell you. Remember, they had reports of corruption down there last year. I can't tell what it is now. I know the numbers are
I called you last week, and I spoke to a lady.
Nutrition products.
Yes, somebody who was there for years.
Yeah.
She answered the phone and said, I'm still here.
Yeah.
I said, cake still being done? She said, yes.
Yeah.
I said, I'm coming down there because I want to see it. The point is this, I told you, Steve, I had a problem in my constituency where the black children like me had browner hair than Ronnie.
Yeah, because it need vitamin.
And I came to Mavis Gilmore's minister and said, Mavis, how are these black children here so brown? He said they are lacking a certain, whatever medical thing she said. And it could be solved through the nutrition product. It started running. I was amazed.
Of course.
Within 2 years.
But the
children have them here back.
Why do we result from the things that we do?
I don't know.
But this is.
don't know.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because of political partisanship. Because I have a different idea, but I don't really consult you because I think that you are the child of Ham, or you are lesser than me, or I win you. Yes, and then and unfortunately, you have a younger generation of politicians now who is even more tribal than we used to be.
Well, Ronnie, the one that bothers me, and I think I told you already, is where it is said that the opposition is not going to cooperate with the government for success because it will keep the government in power.
No.
You understand that?
Yeah, but that is...
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
The government wouldn't be sorry, but the opposition would be sorry because of the system that we have.
Sure. So we
have to look at the system.
Yeah, but
you're not going to get cooperation
we have to overcome
stay
the
in
system
power.
right now. And what I'm seeking to overcome by this interview is to stop the outrage and the embarrassment that we want to take police and fair trading and all kind of things now to Toronto and get Steve McDonald to show us where our banana or somebody else's banana is being labeled and sold at our price where we should have get. And instead of that, what I want is 10 container loads, 15 miles of Black Star liner for reach up there with the banana.
Well,
Steve McDonald.
But Ronnie, you are right here. You're right here, and you're part of the money class. You know, get the money class to do the investment.
The money class are being encouraged by the Minister of Finance to invest in financial instruments, which are all well and good. Only, not the margin gatherers, which is what we do. What we want to do is to invest in real production. Real
But
production.
just come back right a quick minute to the breadfruit thing,
Yeah.
as we had mentioned. If we look and say, okay, we're having every household,
Yeah.
as especially in the rural area, plant 1 or 2 breadfruit.
Yeah.
And so now you'll take it, you have now moved down to the bottom of the economy, right? And those people who, when reaping time come, they're going to start selling their breadfruit. So like back in the days, I'm going way back to the 70s, where we used to have coffee and cocoa production. And then the truck would drive around and buy the cocoa through country.
Sure.
And then so now you're empowering the planter, who is a normal household, the average household person.
Yeah.
You're now employing a trucking company to pick up the breadfruit or whoever. The trucking company have to be maintained by mechanics.
Stephen,
so the multiplier
I'm going to interrupt you.
It's significant.
Of course it is. And the money passed through plenty of hands and
But
things
Randy,
are much better.
Randy,
Time, we have to take a break. Hey? It's time up and we must do that. Steve, keep trucking. Try hard. Let's try and keep the production going. Your input helps us and stimulates us. Thanks so much for today. This is the Public Eye on the Bridge 99. Thanks very much for joining us. This is the Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM. Pearnel, Charles and myself waiting to join Erwin Clare at Irie Jam in New York. When Erwin's ready, let him just interpose. Later on, the Kingston Logistics Company is joining us. They have a story to tell of how they facilitate imports and hopefully exports into and out of Jamaica, and how, very interesting, containers can be used in order to build housing. My goodness, we have a deficit there. Maybe that's a cheaper way of doing it. You can call us on 876-676-4996. We'd love to hear from you. You, the BridgeNation. Send your WhatsApp messages to 876-551-5782. Mr. Charles, while we're waiting, the issues that are at hand now are really concerning me. The level of road vulnerability is a critical thing.
Road
Vulnerability.
Yes.
The taxi men are concerned about their own welfare, but they are behaving in their usual customary fashion, indisciplined fashion on the road. There is a mistake that is being made that that if we only had the new road traffic law and regulations, that things would get better. I have a philosophical problem. Law can't solve social problems, you know.
Could I just joke in something in that?
Joking.
The point is this, that we have been told that they put more traffic police on the board, more motorbike, more cars. I saw a Grab guy this morning. No, he has got to be the best driver in Jamaica. Because
better than some of the New York taxi drivers.
He has passed through every car on the left hand side of the road, right? Without knocking one.
I hear.
Erwin, 1 second.
Yeah.
And just by saying that, my God, look, I wish Randy was here to see. I saw a motorbike. Man, Randy, he has got to be the best rider in the world.
Yes.
Anyhow, he is on the trail, he got to win.
You're lucky you're
How
not dead.
he can bend down and come up and go
Yeah,
down.
man. Yes.
Jamaicans, man.
It's like a new dance move.
Erwin Clare of Irie Jam joining us. How are you?
I am fine. What a way to introduce, to welcome me to the program about New York taxi drivers. So.
I believe that we do well in that regard, don't we? Our people.
Yes, we do. But you know, one of the things we do know here, though, that you have a road infraction. There's serious consequences in your pocket instantaneously. So therefore, there's a higher propensity to abide by the rules and regs. And that's not to say that we do not do some things that are unsavory and uncivilized. But justice is swift here, and it's a major income generator because you know it affects your insurance. And it affects points on your license instantaneously, and that is a major deterrent.
Erwin, let me ask you a question. Where in the world could you have a rule that make a taximan have 120 tickets for more than a year. And his license has been renewed. His
Jamaica.
vehicle license has been improved.
Yeah.
No,
Jamaica.
No.
I keep on.
Then if it was one, it wouldn't be bad. And guess what they want? They say to the government, we know you send out police, you pay the police out there, see an infraction of the law, give a ticket, and we now want you to say to the police, you're only going to give a half pay for that. If I was a policeman and I can't resign, I wouldn't give out any more ticket. If a politician say to you that you have 120 ticket and you didn't pay it, and every ticket has a rule on it, that if you don't pay within X day, you have to go to court, And that man said to the Prime Minister, cut half of it, dash it away. And make go, what? Which country?
Well, Jamaica. Go ahead, Arwin.
There's another side I want to say as well, is that part of what also make the system works, because the rules of course must be enforced, and if I get caught and I have to pay a ticket, the opportunities for me to pay that ticket without any major issues should also be there, because it's income to the government, number one, but also to the inconveniences when people now have to go stand in line and days and wait to pay. That is also another inconvenience, and I can only hope that whatever rules are implemented on traffic rules, whatever, calls for an opportunity for persons to have access to pay these things quickly, so the money gets into the coffers of the state.
Look here, there's a big issue. How can we have order in this society without repression? No, discipline is one thing, repression is another.
Yeah.
And that is a huge question of political philosophy and action in our midst.
I want you to explain what you said a while ago.
Yes, I can.
Because if, for example, we emphasize order, and if you don't follow the rules as set out for all of us, you are going to have X. You are saying, what you call that? Repression?
No.
Hold on. So therefore,
I'm not in favor of what the transport operators came with. I'm against that. But what I'm saying is that we beg for it to happen, because we don't have a system whereby you are called to order as you have in New York, and Erwin is telling us.
Yeah.
We beg for that to happen. We wait until the carbuncle bursts. Yes, and then we say, oh no, we stand for law. Nonsense.
You know what? One of the reasons for that, we have too many people doing so little things.
Well,
too many people in charge of certain things.
That too. And
so a police give it a ticket.
And we have another
what
problem.
What you do with the ticket?
Yes.
Where the ticket reach to the courts?
That's what I'm saying.
And your license plate. In other words, technology has not taken over our situation.
No, but people can do better than that. We've done better in the past. And there's another element of it that we have to understand, that there's significant corruption in the police force.
That's the next thing now.
That's a fact.
Because we also know, I traverse the country here, and there are people who say to me when I'm driving, you see that bus there? A policeman owned that. I said, really? And the only reason I see that bus is that it went on the soft side of me, the left side of me, to pass me on a piece of road. And they say the police bus that.
People are open about this.
I will tell you the truth. I will defend the police. You know why? Because when I was Minister of Public Utilities, I was told that I have about 20 buses on the road. And so many people, including members of my family, believe. That man coming out, so I can't give one on bus.
That's a good example. A good reason you're to defend it. But
Pearnel, hold on. Let me just say this to you.
You're really closing your eyes.
Hold on. Because when you say they belong to the police, there are so many policemen who are decent, who that couldn't happen.
No, but we know that.
Plastered with that.
That goes across the board.
But we're not. Look here, sir. Look here. There is no denying that they're excellent, honest, full of integrity police persons. But there are also significant corrupt elements. That is a fact.
Tell me one organization that don't have.
I can't.
Including the church.
But that doesn't excuse anything.
Hey, gentlemen, And I agree with you both on both subjects.
You agree with me that some pastors, some politicians and some pastors are...
But you can, by equalizing evil, you don't cure it.
That's right.
Yes, stop.
Although they all start with P, right?
Pastor,
police, politician.
Him stop me and him point at me a while ago.
No.
But
Anyway.
but be serious. Whatever it is, we are seriously concerned in the direction in which our country is going.
Precisely, sir. And
Right?
so
And
is
whether it is
It requires
pastor,
leadership.
politician, people who,
Yeah.
it is not going in a direction that is
Can we
to
pass
the
a rule?
development.
Can we pass a rule that says if you do X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3 will happen? Enforce it, market it, and show it off to people. But we say we pass these rules, and I don't think people take it serious because they don't know what's going to happen. They don't have a man inside who can do certain things for them.
And then what happens is that we revert to repression, a repression that is unnecessary, and we don't recognize that when we do that, all you're doing is further empowering the man on the inside who can relieve you of that.
And Ronnie, the reason for that. So the man is told how to drive on the road.
No,
He's
sorry, sir. I beg your pardon.
Yes.
That's my point.
Yes.
Let's keep on the road analogy.
Yes.
There is good evidence, academically based evidence.
Yes.
Yes, that at least a third, probably up to a half of the drivers in Jamaica never took an honest test. And
Exactly.
And further, that the program of driver education that they were engaged in was nil or inadequate. And when I hear the Road Safety Council, with the greatest of respect, and all of the people in the ministry and Prime Minister and Governor General wringing their hands about road fatalities, yes, and we do not have a system of proper driver education, driver certification, when we have an institution which has the money to do it, the skill and the international accreditation to do it, and we don't do it. I tried during my tenure in education to get the Heart Trust to be responsible for driver education in our schools, in our senior schools, yes, and they wouldn't take it on.
Yeah, but hold on now. Those who got license get it one and never renew it. Right?
So we are responsible for our own problem.
But you still have to tell me.
When you're telling me about all of the rules of the road and the fines that are going to be, those are necessary.
Yeah.
But if you don't
It's not implement.
if you don't train a driver properly, how many of our people are illiterate and have open general license?
Ronnie,
What is that?
They're later, but they're smarter than me and you. How
no,
the hell?
if you can't-
How do they get general license?
It's
In fact,
I think you have the answer for that. You have the answer there. We have the answer.
They'll come to you who can drive and intelligent and tell you, yeah, waste your time to go through that, man. Just give me your money and we'll get you and bring come for
There
you.
you go. The system is corrupted. But gentlemen, we're coming up on a break, and I wanted to share something with you just before we go to the break, because I know we have some guests and etc. History has again been made here in the United States, and especially amongst people of color, because the hierarchy of the Democratic Party now is, as the outgoing leadership will say, is a better reflection of what our nation is all about. Hakeem Jeffries from Brooklyn, an African American, is the first person of color to be the leader of the Democratic Party in the House, and that's a significant move.
That's today's move.
Yes. And he was voted without any opposition.
You
and
know,
again, that sends a strong message.
We're going to
here.
break shortly, but let me just on that point. I applaud that. Everything I know of Congressman Jeffrey is that he's deserving of it. But I have a question.
Yes.
It could be history making. But unless he can unite the Democratic Party, the symbol of his accession will be absolutely meaningless.
But at the same token, his demonstrated work thus far indicates such. You know, he's not a person who was placed as a token. He has earned it. Because when we look at his works, you see that this is
what I want to see him is to be able to take on the Kevin McCarthy's of this world, the Marjorie Taylor Greens of this world, what are named Brabant, and all of those others who are pernicious representatives of Beelzebub.
And before he even gets there, he needs to also control his own caucus, because the Democratic Party itself is also fragmented.
Well, this is the point.
And so he'll have his task. He'll have his task cut up for him.
God bless him. I wish him well.
And And also too, there is a female now who is second in command, and a Hispanic American. So it's a interesting mix at the top, and we'll see what happens going forth. But it's a good sign. As you said, Hakeem Jeffries has been one of those persons who served in the assembly along with Ambassador Nick Perry. So I'm quite certain that he too can reflect on the years that they both served together.
I wish you wouldn't turn my microphone off, please.
Am I hearing, Ronnie, that this has happened in England and something has happened in Canada too, and something that
good signs.
The new generation.
But
Yes.
I believe in the Bible. By their fruits you shall know them. Let's take a
So,
break.
so you're waiting for the fruit to generate.
No, you're having the fruits now. All right.
Soon come back. This is the Bridge 99 FM. Thank you very much for joining us on the Public Eye. This is the Bridge 99, and you should see the studio in the Bridge 99. We have two nice ladies. You should see Pearnel beaming.
Really?
Believe me.
Turn his microphone off, please.
Ronnie is just jealous because they're looking at me.
Listen, people of his complexion don't blush easily, you know. But you should have seen him. Welcome, Mrs. Novelette, Henry-Mathison, Business Development and Communications. No, she's the marketing manager of the Kingston Logistics Center. Welcome,
Indeed.
ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Happy
Thanks
to
for
have you.
having us.
And welcome to Cherine Forbes, who is the Development and Communications Officer at Kingston Logistics. Listener, this is remarkable. You must come more often. Tell us and tell our audience in the diaspora what Kingston Logistics Center can do for them. This is a time when enough barrel, enough imports, and hopefully some exports get done. What's Kingston Logistics' role?
Kingston Logistics Center is an all-inclusive logistics hub that offers services to move your cargo faster, easier, and smarter. Generally speaking, we do everything that would cause you a headache. We are able to help you with that, hassle-free, and to make your life easier.
Wow.
The core of our business, or where we started out, was to have a warehouse where we offer wharfing services to include storage of cargo and stripping, like emptying your containers for barrels and persons who have individual.
Yes, as in we allow to facilitate importers, exporters, where for the importation we allow for examination of cargo coming into Jamaica. And of course, once you are importing, you have to pay your requisite duties. So our facility will allow for the breaking out of that container for examination, so customs can apply their requisite duties.
So are you customs brokers?
No, we offer the full supply chain. Any aspect of a supply chain, we can provide that service, including custom brokerage. But basically, though, we are a logistics company which operates a bonded warehouse as well as a free zone facility for both our domestic customers and our international customers.
So ladies, help Pearnel and our audience. Erwin's listening in. I'm in New York, and I want to send a container to Jamaica. Yes, and tell me again. Second story. I'm in Jamaica, and I have a container full of breadfruit that I want to send to Steve McDonald in Toronto. How you can help me?
Yes, for the importation, we also negotiate freight rates. So if you have cargo coming out of, say, Japan with motor vehicles, what we do, we consolidate cars. Presently, we're consolidating vehicles. We can load up to 4 cars in a container. It comes to Jamaica. One belongs to Thwaites, one belongs to...
No, all of them belong to Pearnel.
All of them belong to Sir Pearnel. So we break it out,
No objection.
he can give each family member one each. Okay?
That's how we behave.
That's right. He can give each family member one each. Or if he has a business, he can put them in his showroom, to sell to the general public.
Okay.
And that speaks to the importation. So once it comes in, we're breaking out the container again to allow customs to do their inspection. And then once the requisite duties are paid up, then it is released from our facility into the domestic market. And similar for the export. We're getting something from?
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead, continue.
Yes, and as the reverse is true for the export. You have cargo that you want to sell into your international market.
Yes.
You need to get your products out there.
Yes.
And so you can deliver those items. What I know you can do is you can have, if you have one product per se, you can deliver that product to our warehouse facility where it is stuffed in a container. All the processes are carried out, canine inspection, fumigation if necessary, and then we pack that container and return it to the port to meet its scheduled vessel leaving Jamaica to your ultimate destination.
A question I want to ask, because, and welcome to...
Yes, can I introduce Erwin Clare of Arijam in New York?
Yeah, who don't have the privilege of those two ex-politicians. Because you're all there. The question, when it comes down to shipping, trepidation, of course, is high on the list here.
Yes.
Concern, apprehension. Many in the diaspora now who aspire to return home, the whole idea of preparation to return home. Do you provide any kind of assistance, holding one's hand through the process as to what to do? The whole aspect of what duties are to be paid, how you go about it. Do you provide that service?
Yes, absolutely. We welcome our returning residents.
Really? Good.
And of course, we're looking forward to have you. I mean, I know what it's like to be away from home, and this is your home, of course. And so, yes, the Jamaica Customs do have a special program for returning residents. You have to apply for that status. You can go online. I can't speak much about Jamaica Customs. I'm Kingston Logistics Center, but certainly as Kingston Logistics Center, we will guide you through that process. And then once a container is here, of course, we facilitate the offloading, and of course even door-to-door delivery to your home here in Jamaica.
So ladies, this long line of people standing out on the roadside or jostling at the gate around Christmas time or at any time, this is unnecessary anymore through your services?
It is unnecessary through our services for sure. We recognize we recognize that we're human, and with our culture, in importing barrels, it's like a family event for most Jamaican. You're sending one barrel, and the entire family is coming to Kingston to clear that barrel. So we recognize that
it's
you
part of the
can't fit everybody in a space.
It's part of the transparency process.
It is, yes, indeed, because if a shoes is not labeled, but it's yours, you need to know that you're getting it.
I need to know two things. First of all, is there a schedule of costs? How do you calculate the cost for your services? Is it according to the volume or the nature of the product? Naturally, the distance that it's coming from or going to would be material. Is that how is that done?
The cost will depend on the type of cargo that you're carrying.
Yes.
So, for instance, barrels, we do have a set cost, and it's a set cost for personal effects barrels, your regular clothes and food and so on. However, if you're sending, say, a crate, then the dimensions and the weight of the crate will come into consideration. So that will be factored, and then the charge will be calculated accordingly.
Now, look, there are people in New Jersey and Connecticut listening to us now. How do they get in touch with you?
We're located at 146 First Street, Newport West. That's in close proximity to the ports. We can be reached at 876.
Oh, say it slowly. 876.
876. 757 5358.
Hear the chorus.
876 876
757 5358. Yes.
Or 876 579 9545. 876 579 9545.
I want to repeat that several times before.
I understand you to say that if I was in New York and I want to send a barrel to my uncle in Lamtree Garden, that I didn't have to leave Lamtree Garden. I could just get in touch with you, tell you about the barrel, and get the documents from New York, give it to you, and if I have the money, you put it on a trailer here and send it straight to anywhere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Charles.
And it can be coordinated right to your home, right to your door. We can do the full door-to-door.
And so I'll get rid of all of those people who line up down there to tell me that them know you more than me, and them have a cousin inside.
However, let me take the opportunity also to just let you know that the wait time and the hustle is nowhere where it used to be. We have been doing significant work to work on our warehouse and to work on our efficiencies. And we have introduced a lot of technology as well to help us even with tracking and tracing your cargo, the security of your cargo and that kind of thing. So the expectation that is going to be 3 days and it really is
gone
not
or
like
those
that.
days.
So if you do in fact want to come and take your barrel, you can come to Kingston Logistics Center. We are faster, easier, and smarter than any other warehouse.
Smarter than the crooks who are down there waiting to take us.
Smarter than the average Joe.
Let me ask you this, ladies, and Ronnie and Pearnel. I noticed too that Kingston Logistics is more than just shipping a barrel to Jamaica. The whole aspect of using containers for housing.
Yes.
That's a interest. We know that we have seen people who have done that, but is that something, a market that you guys are now getting into and formalizing the process?
We have been into this. We have been in this market for some time. However, we've been doing primarily container offices, restaurants, bars, and so on. And the culture in Jamaica for container home is not quite as developed. And so now we are launching out with our container homes to say to Jamaica. There's a real potential.
There's a real need for housing in Jamaica.
Claire, it's all good to say that. When I got into the container business of getting an office, it was 400 and something. I don't know if it was $1,000.
How long ago was that?
It's now what? 700,000 or 800,000.
Yes, you're correct.
So tell me now, it was a few. So who can buy a container?
Mr. Charles?
You know when the prices went up, because you're correct. In the last decade or so, container prices were at that level, and lower even. But since the price of steel went up, the suppliers saw that and they ran with that.
And
the prices have not come down. And
that affected shipping.
Yes.
In addition to COVID and all of that, the prices went up.
But the last question before I take over. If you're going to go into housing, because trust me, a 40-foot container can give you nearly 3 rooms, right? 2 rooms on a...
You can get 2 on either side, an office, a bathroom, and a kitchen.
And that can be done in a company in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes.
Now, if you're going to go into that, where are you going to get these containers from? Are they going to come here empty, or it is container that come here that you sell after you take out the
Yes, it can come both ways, because our sister companies actually Zim, our principals is Zim Shipping Line, and so this is the business they're in. And so we can
empty containers to Jamaica.
Yes, sometimes they do, because remember that they have to position to various ports for exportation.
Right, because Zim is one of the largest shipping lines operating
and their hub is here in Jamaica.
Right, so...
Erin and Pearnel, let me just give an example. When I served in government, there was a company that built a series of classrooms at Caribbean Maritime Institute. Really? Look at the lady.
Present.
Putting up her hand.
That's Kingston Logistics Center.
Yes.
Yes, that's us.
And it proved both economical and very, very efficient.
Very efficient.
Yes. In fact, I wish that shortly after I saw that, we wanted to use that methodology as the main means of getting schools off shift.
Yes.
Because the construction time was so short. Because it's largely
for the turnaround.
Yes, for the turnaround.
And you can put container on top of container.
Yes.
And the economy was at that time significant. So I'm interested to hear that possibility still exists.
Yes, it does.
And the reality is that container homes for Jamaica right now, based on the shipping rates for containers, is not a low income option. It is a lower cost option, but it is not realistically not the low income option.
You know,
so if you want it, if you're going to do a traditional home, a container home would be less expensive than doing a traditional brick and mortar. But it is not a zinc fence alternative.
No, it's not a zinc fence alternative.
Let me give you, let me congratulate you. I think you are the right type of people to advertise honestly, because there are so many of us who say it is easy to take a container, put down in the dirt, and go live in it.
No.
And I'm proud of the way you make the presentation. Okay, congratulations to you. I'll ask your boss to improve your status financially.
Thank you. It's not a zinc sheet option.
All right, gentlemen and lady, we're at that point where, as part of the economics of our existence, we have to take a commercial break. So we're going to do that.
On the Bridge 99, we're talking with the Kingston Logistics Center. Don't go anywhere. Now we're talking about import and export. You know, I long for the day, Irwin, Claire, Pearnel, Charles, ladies, when the level of business that your company gets is as much for exports as it is for imports.
Yes.
You share my dream?
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely.
Because, I mean, we've been saying export is dead, and we need to stop saying that and make it happen. But for it to happen, we have to have proper procedure in place to facilitate manufacturers and even farmers.
Yes.
You know?
But, you know, my experience, sometime dated now, but when I used to be involved in exporting coffee, you had to go through about 16 different steps in order to be able to get it. And they were torturous. Now, where I'm fascinated is that you're saying that you will actually godmother all of that for whoever is exporting?
Yes, we do a lot of the hustle and the headache. We do a lot of that coordinating. However, you also have to bear in mind that as a developing country, a lot of the decision making in terms of what is allowed and permitted to enter these developed countries is decided by the developed countries.
Yes.
So a lot of the times they have these restrictions, and they really are the ones that is kind of limiting access to their markets. So whilst we want to say, you know, it's not happening the way we want it, we really should understand that it is not just on Jamaica's government side or on Jamaica's side, but there are other limitations as well that is restricting.
You know, something, Irwin is listening, because I am aware that some countries, let us say in the United States, when certain things are moving fast, all I understand it can't pass the airport. They find a little worm in it. I don't know if they find a little thing in it, and it can't come. And so the man in Jamaica said, listen, I'm not sending anymore. And the man who started to plant, stop plant. So if you people can take it over at a higher level and take it here and deliver it and pay, that would be satisfying Mr. Clare in New York, who is dying to get that day.
But let me ask you this, though.
And you know, we have to protect our borders. No two ways about that.
Irwin, you're asking?
You know, as we look into this whole new dynamic and opportunities to explore opportunities, you know, recognizing rules and regulations are in existence, but also too, if for example, from a Jamaican perspective, we have situations that we think are in our best interest as well, there are opportunities. We have our ambassadors, we have our consul generals, we have the community, which is always the piece that is missed out on, because we do have direct access to our elected officials. That KLC and your competitors who provide for Jamaica can pull together your resources and say, listen, these are some of the issues that we want to be lobbied on or advocated on. And yes, things can happen, because it's a win-win situation when we all approach from a collective perspective.
Yeah, but you're giving a big responsibility to these folk.
Not just to the organization.
No,
sir.
I got you. But they're the ones who are seeing the difficulties in a variety of different circumstances.
Share them.
And that's it. Share them so that we are in a position indeed to make this. Hey, Jamaica is going to be an importing country for the rest of its existence, given our size, our proximity, our history. But we're also going to be become a leader in export. And the question I have,
transshipment,
the question is, where do you see the future of logistics? I mean, you dived into an area which is so diffuse, so consuming of all these regulations. What's going to happen in 5 years' time to Kingston Logistics Center, ma'am?
Well, we intend to
More
be there
volume?
for the long haul.
Yes.
And I mean, we are developing our services or our processes
World class.
to make ourselves, into a 21st century state of the art facility.
Yes.
And of course, our customers are number one. They're very important to us, and without us doing that, we will be nowhere. So, at all times, we have our customers in mind to see how best we can serve them.
But the connection with Zim is important. Zim is an international
Yes, absolutely.
body with tremendous pedigree.
And also too, when you look at your growth, the fact that so much comes from the diaspora itself, that we look forward to more engagements with the KLCs of the world.
Yeah.
Because it cannot just be a one-way situation. It has to be an involvement of the persons who are some of your main clientele, and right here in the diaspora. So we're looking forward to that outreach.
So and that is why a global connection like this
is important.
So important. I mean, recognizing the importance of the diaspora and that bridge
to
make that
offering that service, because many people are just lost.
Yes.
So tell me, if anyone's interested in a container house, in exploring that, what did they do?
They just call us.
They call us.
7575358.
Yes. And if they have a particular floor plan, they know how they want to use their space.
Architects should be your friends.
Yes. They can even do their own floor plan, either by way of a drawing or just a verbiage. We can scroll through that and do the costing accordingly.
Yes.
They can also follow
I definitely would like to get a costing from you. So because
you don't have no more need for offices. Come on, relax.
No. The point is this, Aaron.
There's
so many people who believe that Ronnie and myself are directing the government, and Ronnie is a special advisor now to the government. But there are people asking me, I hear you talking about this thing and I would like to get one to live in right away.
Yes.
Ronnie,
Ronnie will assist with the cost.
Mr. Thwaites, if Mr. Charles is asking for a container house at this stage, there's some other challenges. But anyway, I think it's an important mix in the whole housing mix in Jamaica. It's a very important mix in the housing.
Remember, lots of persons, even in the diaspora, they have land. They would have inherited land. And they really just don't have anything going on the land.
And so if you don't want to make that big investment by building a 2-story mansion, you start with a single unit, reach a 20 or 40, and then you can build around that.
Right,
or
and expand you can use it. When you're here, you can use it. I mean, you can live in it or whatever.
Tell you what,
but you can also use it as an Airbnb.
As an investment.
Miss Henry-Mathison, that's a subject. That's a subject that you need to come on a tour here in the diaspora using the global link here.
Is that an invitation to come to New York?
Staying on the bridge. You're in New York right now with the bridge.
Yes,
on the bridge.
Stay on the bridge. I will try and cross it and be there in New York, sitting beside you instead of
those.
So I'm just going to cross over the bridge to New York.
Listen, before you go, I want to get the coordinates straight though. You gave me some phone numbers which I'm going to repeat, but what about an email contact? You have one?
Yes, it's
Can do that, no? Write this down, Erin.
Yes, ma'am.
It's sales@KLC.
Sales@KLC.
Jamaica.com.
Jamaica.com. That's easy.
And our website is www.klclogisticsja.com.
Can also find us on Instagram at KLCJM.
Wait, you both see.
Yes, and you'll see some of those container homes and some of the work that we've done on our Insta page.
Pretty picture is what we need.
There you go. Likewise on Facebook, Kingston Logistics Center.
And your telephone number once again?
And our telephone again is 876.
Go ahead.
876-757-5358. 876-579-9545 or 876-371 6429.
I love it.
Or via WhatsApp at 876-583-6122. So if you don't want to call, make that international call,
So it's
you can
583.
WhatsApp us at
6122.
876-583-6122.
I love the directness. I love the practicality. Thank you very much, Mrs. Novelette, Henry-Mathison, and Miss Cherine Forbes for your company today. You liven up our program. Come again, and
Yeah, man.
happy to beam the prospects of Kingston Logistics Center and the container homes all over the world, over the bridge. 99
Thank you so
FM.
much.
It's
Thank
our
you.
pleasure.
An afternoon to family in New York,
Look,
in the
I tell you,
diaspora.
everybody have that, you know. Erwin Clare.
They're asking for a container, so send a container with,
Yes.
with
We
arcade,
sell
roast bread.
containers,
don't worry about it.
Listen,
Oh, Lord.
We
not
can
an
sell
empty
you the
one,
container.
not an
Listen
empty
to
one,
me.
not an
And
empty
it's
one.
so easy that
Privilege.
some people in New York who want to come home,
Yeah.
they can just
Anyway.
pack their container
Yes.
with what they
All
have
right.
there
Everything.
and
Send it to these
everything.
people.
All right,
Yeah.
Come
so-
with the
so-
container thingy and get the container, go straight to
All
right,
country.
so-
with the thing,
Absolutely.
and then
Thank you
they
very
have a
much.
room in it until
Absolutely.
they be like,
And they
Erwin
can build,
Clare?
there you go, they build it out.
Curb your cravenness for Aki as we bid you goodbye. For
And roast breadfruit, and roast breadfruit,
Oh,
and
listen
roast
to me. You
breadfruit.
so start with the Gizada.
We'll send some sunshine for him.
Take
But
care.
All the best, all the best.
Till next week. Blessings
Sure.
to you.
Bye, Irving.
And
All the best.
that's it for
That's a wrap
the
for us here. And just
Public
bear-
Eye and the Open Mind with Pearnel, Charles, and myself on the Bridge 99 FM. Thanks so much to our guests this week. Thanks to LaFane and all of those who made this program possible. Time now for Nikki Z and the crossover. Stay on the Bridge 99 FM. Till then.